Stronger purchasing power, which means stable, lower rates. Join our pool and start paying $55 a month per employee. We'll even match your current company health and dental plan and save you 10 to 25%. Visit us at northernfinancialgroup.ca.
Don't miss the launch of Beacon 1802 Milk RX eye treatment at TSC and save over 35%. It's today's showstopper at tsc.ca. 6:30 News Time 8:29. Checking in as travelers weather forecast. Edmonton partly cloudy. This morning, clearing this afternoon. A high of -7. Feeling closer though to -19 this morning. Vancouver rain ending this morning and cloudy this afternoon with a high of 8 degrees. Toronto snow and 8 centimeters expected today with a high of -4. Ottawa mix of sun and cloud chance of flurries with a high of +1. Halifax flurries ending this morning. Wind gusting to 50 this afternoon. A high in Halifax today of +2 degrees. No more anytime after smart speakers like 660 News Radio Calgary. Lauren Hines is at the website. Clark Day is our news director. Michael Ranger is our digital manager. 660 News Time 8:30.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 660 News Radio Calgary.
Good morning, it is Friday, March 13th. I'm Logan Stein.
And I'm Kelly Turner. Light snow, -10 degrees. Here's what's making news right now. The U.S. now...
Government forced everybody's hand.
Today is the day a judge rules on a possible injunction against a bill forcing Alberta's striking teachers back to work last fall.
The city out with its latest Speeder Main project update. And where do we sit with water usage? Is Calgary still going in the right direction?
Calgary police are still looking for a suspect's vehicle after they hit a 12-year-old boy in a crosswalk and drove off.
A milestone night for Flames captain Michael Backlund in New Jersey.
More excited, more fun to win.
Calgary also picks up 2 points against the Devils. Sports at 45.
The country's jobs market had a February deep freeze with 84,000 jobs lost, according to StatsCan. With Canadian dollar slumping in reaction, stock markets holding steady as the price for oil settles down. Business at 56.
660 News Time 8:31.
Time for a look at traffic and weather on the ones. From the 660 News Radio Traffic Center, here's Tanya Blakeney.
It is a building morning as the rush hour starts to set in on a Friday. A little bit foggy in some areas, dealing with Valley Drive for a collision investigation. Watch for people on the road there dealing with that, including police and a detour required. In the southwest, you'll find Glenmore Trail sluggish eastbound over the reservoir. Very much expected, but it opens up right after 14th Street at Elbow Drive. And if you see something in the way, share that. 403-291-0066. Traffic for CapitalDirect.ca. Take a little, pay a little. A Flexi Line by Capital Direct allows you to take only what you want when you want it. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to get your Flexi Line. Now the forecast, here's meteorologist Michael Coos.
Couple of cold days, including this one this afternoon, just up to -5, feels -11, drops down to -9 overnight, light snow overnight and for at least the morning on Saturday with the Arctic front hovering over the city, drops to -12 in the afternoon, feels -20, clears out and warms up on Sunday. Currently it's -11 in Crestmont, -10 downtown, this afternoon up to -5.
660 News Time 8:33.
The breaking news this morning from the Middle East, a bombshell announcement by the U.S. Defense Secretary, who's providing an update on the war in Iran.
It comes just hours after the U.S. president suggested on social media that the U.S. operation was about to ramp up. Jamie Pulfer with the very latest. An update from the Pentagon on the U.S.-Israel war in Iran. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth calling out Iran's leadership.
We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. You put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video.
And a threat from President Trump on social media earlier, day 14 of the war. He says, quote, "Watch what happens to these deranged scumbags today." Iranian state television reporting a large explosion in a Tehran square during a massive rally. Well, here in Canada, the federal government questioned about why it kept the public in the dark about a Canadian military base hit by an Iranian missile almost 2 weeks ago. Prime Minister Carney.
I mean, I'm not the only spokesperson for the government, but I just confirm that Canadian forces are, the members of the Canadian forces are all safe.
It's a military facility known as Camp Canada, located within the U.S.-led airbase in Kuwait. I'm Jamie Pulfer.
And some more breaking news. The U.S. military has confirmed a refueling plane used in operations against Iran has crashed in western Iraq, killing all 6 crew members. Details are few, but officials say the KC-135 Stratotanker was involved in an unspecified incident with another aircraft in friendly airspace.
Now, the other plane apparently landing safely in service for over 6 years. The Stratotanker is commonly used to refuel other aircraft in midair, but it has also been involved in several accidents.
6:60 news time, 8:34. Back to Alberta now. The teacher strike has been over for months, but today the issue returns to the courts. A judge will decide on a possible injunction against the province's bill that ended the work stoppage last fall for 51,000 educators.
6:52 Wood reports if the union wins, it would be in a legal position to strike once again.
Alberta Teachers Association boss Jason Schilling has said that doesn't necessarily mean it would happen, as it would be up to rank and file teachers to decide.
There's other ways that government can get to a conclusion in the bargaining process without such a heavy hammer like this.
When the UCP government ended the strike last year, it also invoked the Charter's notwithstanding clause to make sure the decision wasn't overturned in court. ATA lawyers argued Bill 2 was rushed through the legislature and violates teachers' charter rights with a, quote, preemptive and shotgun use of the clause. Premier Daniel Smith defended its use, saying on March 3rd the fact recall petitions are failing is a sign that this is also a proof of the back-to-work legislation.
There was initial concern, but I think people are relieved to have kids back in the class. Parents are relieved to have their kids back in class. I think teachers are relieved to be able to be teaching again.
Meanwhile, the province is rolling out a pilot program to expand private school spaces. $90 million allotted in the 2026 budget would prioritize schools that serve students with specialized needs over the next 3 years. A citizen-led petition in February asking whether the province should stop funding private schools fell short of the required number of signatures. I'm Phil Woods.
Province is weighing in on Calgary's water crisis. Municipal Affairs Minister Dan Williams will be in Calgary this morning to announce the next steps in a review of the city's network. A month ago, since he requested thousands of documents from city officials for December's rupture of the Bearspaw South feeder main. He's scheduled to speak at 11 a.m. this morning. Meanwhile, daily demand for water in Calgary has been sustainable, decreasing again to 482 million liters. Mayor Jeremy Farkas is giving credit to people for stepping up conservation efforts. Aaron Rathwell has
Jeremy Farkas says he's encouraged by many ways are stepping up online.
on a story we've been following closely for you. West of Calgary, Burns are being told to avoid the backcountry in Kananaskis following recent snowfall. Avalanche Canada says risk is high right now with certain areas closed for slide control that involves explosives. The danger rating for alpine and tree lines remains high looking ahead for today and Saturday. But Avalanche Canada adds it's just best to avoid all questionable terrain and let the snow settle. And Alistair Chapman, the man allegedly connected to Canadian drug kingpin Ryan Wedding, will make another appearance in a Calgary courtroom today. The last appearance was less than a month ago on February 20th, where a judge denied his bail. Now, the Crown had considered Chapman a flight risk, while he's accused of cocaine trafficking and helping Wedding, a former Team Canada Olympic snowboarder, set up the killing of an FBI informant. Wedding was arrested last month in Mexico before being transferred to California. He was on the FBI's most wanted list. Coming up right away in 1 minute's time, your latest look at traffic and weather together on the One.
Charles Glen Toyota, we're celebrating the season with a truck built to handle it all. Lease your new 2026 Toyota Tundra SR Crewmax for only $171 weekly for 60 months OAC. You may have lost an hour, but we're giving you one back. So grab another coffee, lean into the chaos, and we'll celebrate this extra daylight all the way to summer. Lake season is loaded.
Some lanes appear to be open. Watch the detour on that route. In the northeast, there was also a distraction at 88th Avenue and 60th Street. Crews responding. Highways around the city moving and managing pretty well after yesterday's snowfall. Could see some more light flurries. A little bit of ice fog affecting visibility this morning. And as the day continues, we'll see more melt, but also some new flakes falling. If there is something in the way, pass it on. 403-291-0066. Traffic is brought to you by Service. Another red light. Start seeing green by saving with Service.
Much better. The March into Savings event on now through March 25th at Coast Appliances. Get free delivery, plus buy 2 appliances and save 10%. Buy 3 and save 15%. Terms apply. See store for details. Relax with Coast.
Calgary's trusted news. 660 News Radio.
Good morning. It's -10. Light snow falling in places around the city. I'm Logan Stein. Here's a look at the top stories right now. The U.S. military has confirmed a refueling plane used in Operation operations against Iran has crashed in western Iraq, killing all 6 crew members. This as U.S. President Donald Trump flip-flops on his stance, saying he plans on ramping things up.
The U.S. now taunting Iran's new supreme leader.
Is wounded and likely disfigured.
And questions about why the Iranian strike on a Canadian military base in Kuwait was not made public.
Kenny Pulver has those details coming up in 15 minutes' time. The teacher strike has been over for months, but today the issue returns to the courts. A judge will decide on a possible injunction against the province's bill that ended the work stoppage last fall for 51,000 educators. Phil Wood has more on that story coming up after 9 o'clock. And the province is weighing in on Calgary's water crisis. Municipal Affairs Minister Dan Williams is in Calgary this morning announcing the next steps in the review of the city's water network. Now we'll look at sports from Sportsnet 960 The Fan. Here's Tanya Blakeney.
The Calgary Flames picked up a win in New Jersey yesterday.
A milestone night for Calgary Flames captain Michael Backlund.
He scored his 229th. You can listen live at Sportsnet 960 The Fan. Calgary Canucks are also in action. They're just on the road visiting the Dragons in Drumheller, also at 7 o'clock. Paul Arriola scored twice, and the Seattle Sounders down the Vancouver Whitecaps 3-0 in their CONCACAF Champions Cup contest. Sounders hosting the back end of a 2-legged aggregate in Spokane, Washington Wednesday night. And Canada's Paralympic medal tally up to 11. Natalie Wilkie struck gold for the second time at these games in Milano Cortina this morning. She captured para-biathlon title of the games, winning the women's sprint.
We are born. We work. Start a family. Work some more. Watch our kids grow. And then it happens. We begin to feel younger, act younger, live younger. And we realize life didn't change. We did.
Move in this summer to Magna by Jamin Built. New luxury concrete condominiums in University District, starting from the mid-600s. Show suites now open. Visit jamin.com/magna.
6:16 news time, 8:48. Alberta's Transportation Minister says the speed limit on the QE2 will see a slight adjustment, allowing drivers to go even faster. Joel Mendelson has more, getting some reaction.
Near Cross Iron Mills, just north of Calgary in Rocky View County, it's possible that in the near future, this highway could have a speed limit up to 120 kilometers an hour. Wednesday, Alberta Minister of Transportation Devin Dreeshen confirmed that part of Highway 2, just south of Leduc, will be the testing ground for a speed limit increase from 110 to 120 kilometers an hour. One Calgarian I spoke with doesn't think it'll change much on this stretch of road that leads to Edmonton.
You know what it's going to look like. You know it's going to be chaotic. Regardless of if they change it or not, people are going to do 120, 130 plus.
I asked Addison if he's disappointed that the trial zone isn't closer to Calgary, but he says he's already experienced the higher limits while driving in BC and is in favor of the change.
120. People have been doing it forever.
Joel Mendelson, City News, Rocky View County.
In advance of the review of the CUSMA trade deal, Mexico will send trade mission to Canada in May. 660 News Radio business analyst Chris McCusker has more.
An economy ministry official from Mexico said during an event today the idea behind the trade mission is to look for investment opportunities in strategic sectors. The mission will take place from May 7th to 9th in Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. And the Mexican ministry also says it will open applications so interested companies can register to be part of it. Now, a Canadian trade mission led by Canada's Minister of U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, visited Mexico in February. LeBlanc has said Canada and Mexico want to keep the trade deal trilateral as opposed to separate bilateral deals, as some American officials have suggested. I'm Chris McCusker.
Coming up, traffic and weather on the ones.
It's Subway's Lunch, Not Luck, where it's a win every day of the week. What's the win? Take it away, Kyle.
It's Subway's Meal of the Day, only $7.99. A 6-inch sub, a drink, and chips or 2 cookies. Enjoy a different sub every day, like Veggie Delight on Monday, Cold Cut Combo on Wednesday, or even Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki on Sunday.
That's right. 7 days, 7 meals, $7.99 each. Subway's Meal of the Day.
insurance from $19 per month. 100% online. Be protected. Be Zen.
And up next, the latest from the 7 Cowbells. Some things are better in moderation, like cannabis. Get moderation tips at cannabissense.ca.
660 News Time, 8:51. Time for a look at traffic and weather together on the ones from the 660 News Radio Traffic Center. Daniel Blakeney.
Good morning. Still moving okay as the volume looks decent, and the volume on the routes as far as the atmosphere, the environment is concerned, not terrible today. A little bit less flurry activity falling in some areas, perhaps more so on area highways. There is a route closure in the southeast, a lane closure on Sun Valley Boulevard. Northbound lanes are shut down between Tacoma and Sun Valley Drive. This is for a collision that happened a little while ago, but crews are detouring you through the stretch. In the northeast, there was also an issue at 60th Street and 88th Avenue. A new distraction on Deerfoot southbound near Memorial Drive. Watch for a right lane blockage. And then 17th Avenue at Deerfoot westbound, you'll find a collision. And some people responding just before that Deerfoot access on westbound 17th Avenue. In the northwest, Crowchild Trail doing well south from Stony through Nose Hill Drive and then on towards 24th Avenue's traffic lights. Now there was a distraction at Stony Trail Northwest near Sarcee Trail. That's cleared out of the way. And if you see something in the way, share that 403-291-0066. Now, traffic is brought to you by Leva Sleep. Save up to 60% on adjustable bed packages. Plus, save the tax during the Leva Sleep different colors clear out event. Leva Sleep, the better bet. Now, the forecast. Here is meteorologist Michael Hughes.
We've had flurries flying this morning, mainly cloudy early. Snow coming in later in the day. It looks like mid to late afternoon and into the evening. 5 maximum, 10 centimeters across the city from really now all the way through late day tomorrow, or at least mid-afternoon tomorrow before things start to clear out. Drops to minus 12 under the Arctic air on Saturday in the afternoon. Minus 16 early Sunday morning with sunshine and 2 degrees below zero Sunday afternoon. Monday's mainly cloudy and 10 degrees as a warm front moves in and moves through. So high pressure builds up from the south, meaning warm conditions on Tuesday, warming up to 13 degrees. Currently, Okotoks is at minus 11, downtown negative 10, the afternoon high up to minus 5.
660 News Time, 8:53. There'll be the ultimate showdown between two films at the 98th Academy Awards on Sunday. Mr. Franciscatos has a preview.
Listen here, this ain't no house party.
Sinners in one battle after another are the front runners. Because to be seen and celebrated and validated by your peers, which is very much a found family for me, is an amazing feeling.
The Oscars air live on ABC and stream on Hulu March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern. K-pop Demon Hunters could be a winner at the Oscars Sunday, but if it's not, maybe K-pop Demon Hunters 2 will take home the gold. Netflix has officially confirmed a sequel to its most popular film of all time.
You can't spend much of your life denying your family.
We've got our first look at Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair, the new revival of the early 2000s sitcom. All 4 episodes premiere April 10th on the Hulu. Andrea Dresdale, ABC News.
Coming up right away, a look at some of today's top business news at the 660 News Radio Market Minute.
Hello again. It's Bob Reed from Covers Express, and I've got news so nice, I'll say it twice. Our Double promotion that was so popular in February continues through March. That's right, a second month of
Exclusively on 660 News Radio Calgary.
Both the Canadian dollar and Canadian bond yields are dropping this morning following a weaker than forecast reading on the state of the labor market. February's jobs data reported in February's jobs report from StatsCan was not good. In fact, one of the worst months on record for jobs lost. 84,000 total, 108,000 full-time positions, many of them for the private sector job cuts hitting the hardest. Hardest hit province was Quebec, down 57,000 jobs. Quebec's unemployment rate going up to 5.9%. Ontario's now at 7.6%, almost a full percent above the national average. The signs of weakness in the labor market showing up in the manufacturing sector and various other parts of the economy raises questions for the Bank of Canada, which next week sets interest rates after warning previously it was not expecting a good year for the economy with the uncertainty related to trade talks. Now it's got a war in the mix, raising inflationary pressures because of the spike at the gas pumps this month. Monday next week, we get the Canadian inflation data for February, and then Wednesday, the Bank of Canada sets interest rate policy. No change expected.
There's a road closure ahead on 18th Avenue Southeast. No other routes available. You're still on the fastest route.
It peaked at 97 earlier today. The markets are looking to recoup some
There's
of
a
the
road
losses.
closure ahead on
The
18th
TSX
Avenue
up 19
Southeast.
points,
No other
still on
routes
pace for a loss
available.
of about
You're still on
2%
the
this week.
fastest
The Dow
route.
Jones up 188 this morning, 0.4%. The Nasdaq's up 42 points, or a fifth of 1%. Suncor is trading at an all-time high, 82.25 per share, up by 1%. The Canadian dollar right now is down a third of a cent at 73 cents. The gold is down $35. Futures contract at $50.90 the ounce. Bitcoin now up 3,200 at 73,400. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
CFFR AM.
A Rogers radio station.
660 News Radio Calgary. It doesn't take long to make a difference. It only takes an hour to give on 660 News Radio. This week on An Hour to Give, we mark of Canada stops by to share how they're raising awareness, supporting families, and driving community events that make a real impact in Calgary. A program dedicated to causes and charity in our community. And